You gotta say action.
Okay, so we're actually recording now. I was gonna wait and see if you did anything silly, but I figured whatever, I'd just start recording. Um, okay, so this guy laughing right here, his name is Gregg Bucell. I'm guessing most of you know him already because somehow this guy knows everybody. But we were just bored and shooting the shit, and so we figured we'd talk and get to know Greg a little bit, I guess. Um, so yeah, here he is. One thing that I was going to ask you, because me and Mike were talking earlier today, I want to hear your story, your version of how you met me.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Because I kind of don't, like there's fuzzy areas. And
There's
then all
fuzzy
of a sudden
areas.
we're
So
like best buds.
best bud. So people may not know your and I's relationship, but what anybody should know about
Relationship.
if they our partnership, friendship, whatever you want to call it now. It's 2018. We can just tell the people what it actually is. Anyways, the way I met Wooly and what transitioned into that is to who I am today inside this community. So everybody has somebody they meet throughout a way of whatever their trade is or whatever their hobby is that really kind of changes their path in a dramatic way.
That was me?
Wooly is that person for me.
Aw.
Hands down. And then on the other hand of things, there's two kind of spectrums that I gained from meeting you. I also met the other person that's on this podcast, Mike Sanders. And Mike is, if you guys don't know, he does all the really cool stuff behind the scenes of the magazine that a lot of people don't see. Mike keeps the magazine what it is.
Yeah,
so
he's
if you
kind of
like the
cleanup
magazine,
guy.
he's the cleanup guy. Yeah, we would love to say butts, farts, whatever. We can't. So Mike is the reasonable one behind it. He also helps out with a huge help of the magazine, which is any company that's willing to advertise. So that's that's the two roles these people play into my life. Now, how do we meet? I remember the first time I really met Wooly, and it may be different, but we went to, there used to be these car shows
Yeah, I want to see how
in
much
the
of
middle
it
of the city.
lines up and how much I
Oh,
don't remember
man.
or do remember.
There was like,
Okay,
oh,
so, car shows. Varsity
so we're at this
meets,
car
right?
show, it's Varsity Meet.
Yeah.
Varsity Meets. Atlanta has this like fast food place in the middle of Atlanta. It's massive parking lot, and they used to have these Varsity Meets. And I was going out there. I was a really young kid, didn't really settle yet into my community of what I was. I had like a turbo Mazda at one time. I had like a Nissan Altima. I was all over the place. Didn't have a drift car. Loved Hondas. So didn't really matter. But it was a cesspool of people at this car show. And one of the cars there was a drift car, Cody Wellens.
Yeah.
And it had all these stickers and stuff. And then Wooly was there. Now, I had heard of S3M magazine. I had seen it through like local shops around the area. Local shops around the area were always like hyped on it because like, an Atlanta-based import magazine. I remind you guys, this is years and years and years ago.
This was
and
08?
07, 08?
7?
Yeah,
8?
07, 08.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 07, 08. It was right out of high school. Oh, shit, I turned 30 this year.
High school for you. I was already well past college.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was, Mike already had a really nice 401k. He was established, cutting the grass twice a week. But yeah, so
Wow.
we were out there, and Wooly was just like this, like, if you guys have never met Jonathan, he is a giant walking smile. And like everybody wants to engage with Wooly. Everybody just wants to talk to him. Yeah, he's just.
I was sitting here grinning. You go smile. I'm like, damn it.
He's a giant walking smile, and something about it. Me and him just started talking, and he had some boxes of magazines. He's like, "Hey man, we're guerrilla marketing. We're gonna hand out all these magazines for free, and we're gonna get these magazines into people's hands." And I was like, "All right," and I just like started acting almost a fool, but I was like, yo, free magazines. And like anybody who hears the word free, it doesn't matter if it's air freshener or a sticker at a car show, like it's people start coming to see what it is.
See,
and before you knew it, we gave away all of our magazines.
To this day, I still feel awkward as hell trying to, I guess because you're promoting your own thing, you know, it's like the guy that's selling his own CDs out the back of his car. Like, I've never been able to be loud about getting, you know, the magazine to people at a car event or something like that. And I do remember that. I remember you were just naturally great at talking to people and just striking up conversations. And I was like, dang, man, like, this kid's really good at doing this. I guess I'm introverted like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah.
No filter, no shame.
But, like, you guys got to understand. Again, like, if you know Greg, you know Greg. But, like, you're like, obnoxious, but in the best ways. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times there's no in between. Like, there's obnoxious sons of bitches that just, like, you know, like, you can't be around them for more than a couple minutes. And then there's, like, the quiet, cool guys, but like Greg is like the awesome in between, man. Like, I don't know. Like, Greg is the guy. Like, you'll have fun if Greg is around. It's gonna happen.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's
he's the energy.
It is. It's exhausting.
I mean, like, how many years did we bring you to SEMA? And I'm telling you this now. I didn't tell you that then. Just because we wanted to have fun at SEMA. We're like, let's bring Greg. Fun stuff will happen if Greg comes. You know? It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, so now that conversation leads me into, like, it's not the first time I met Mike Sanders, but it's one of my first memories of Mike Sanders. And so Wooly said one year, they're like, yo, you want to come to SEMA with us? And I was like, yeah, that's are you kidding me? Again, I'm out of maybe a year had transpired, maybe 2 years, maybe 3. You know, it's kind of a blur right now, but time had passed of me and Wooly being friends. He's like, come to SEMA. I'm like, cool. He's like, you got to work, though. And I was like, all right, yeah, all right, let's do it. He's like, so the deal is, this is how much it's going to cost for you on the trip. But we want you to bring in new companies, sell these ads, and make up the difference. And if you do that, we'll bring you on for the next year. And I was like, so I can go to SEMA and, like, for free? Like, I couldn't grasp that conversation, you know? And I was like, cool, let's do it. So we get there, and this is my memory of Mike Sanders now is, if anybody has never been to SEMA, they separated into, like, different halls. There's, like, performance aspect, off-road, and wheel and tire, and, you know, there's a few other things. But anyways, we go into wheel and tire, which is one of the biggest halls there, and it has some of the most intimidating companies for sure. You know, it's, yes, companies like Exetti Clutch are huge companies, but when you really look, oops, I dropped the phone. When you really look at a company like Exetti compared to Yokohama Tires, Exetti is a small entity.
Wheel and Tire always puts the game faces on.
Right.
These are serious haul. Yeah.
Right. These are, when they say they're a marketing manager, they've gone to the Oxford of marketing management. Like, they're whatever it is. But so Sanders comes in, and, like, the first booth is like Yokohama. Yokohama has, now, if you didn't know this, Mike did. Yokohama didn't do print marketing in our demographic at that time.
It was Pirelli.
Or Pirelli.
It was Pirelli.
Pirelli. And Mike goes, find me the card of the marketing manager that's going to buy us a paper.
What, were you just screwing with them?
Yeah, a little bit.
Totally.
Hold on. I'm not the total dick here. Let me set this up and preface it a little bit. So, yeah, SEMA is kind of an absolute shit show for me. Wooly's out there kind of just glad-handed and taking pictures of cars. My job is to go and make every single dollar that the magazine's going to earn throughout the entire year in this 4-day trade show. And it's a massive event. You're just out there, you know, kissing hands, shaking babies, you know, and you got to be professional and fun all at the same time. It's a shit show for me because I have too much to do on my own, so I always try to bring somebody along. Now, me and Wooly have not really hired, but brought along a lot of people throughout the years to come in and try to do ad sales, and every single one of them crashed and burned. Nobody really had the balls to pick up the phone and call people, and it's tough. I mean, I do it every day, and it is frustrating, especially nowadays. It's really, really tough. Greg, I got to give you all the props in the world, man. You did it. And you did it very, very well.
By accident.
By accident. That's the best way to do. I mean, to be honest, we still have advertisers today that you brought to the table. Yeah. And I love you for it, man. You did a great job, and I got a seat for you anytime you want to come back. But just tell your story.
Absolutely. No, it's yeah. No, he summed it up pretty great. Is like I just said a little while ago. I was out of high school. Much like Jonathan and Mike when they took over the magazine with Cody and stuff. When S3 started, these guys didn't know what they were doing. You may have played it, but true. You guys had no idea what you were getting yourself into. You were what, writing for the magazine? Again, people who may not know.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know. The magazine was around for a few years before we got hired, and very shortly, like 6 weeks after we got hired, we got laid off because the magazine was being sold, and then out of just sheer stubbornness, managed to get in there and buy the magazine. So that's kind of where that started. So yeah, I knew how to write an article, but I didn't know the first thing about running a magazine. Where we were kind of at.
But that was, to me, that was kind of inspiring. Because I didn't know the first thing about selling an ad. We did learn at a young age. Screw it, man. Let's go for it. What's the worst that's going to happen, kind of a thing. And it's kind of done us well, man. I mean, we've kind of. Right. That's the thing, is that at that age, when you're like in your mid-20s, I don't know, it happens at different times for different people, but there's kind of that fork in the road of like, all right, man, which way are we going to go here? Like, we're out of college, if we went to college or whatever. Like, are we going to go the route of, getting a job where we put money in a 401k and we commute to work every day and we got our Starbucks punch card? Are we going to do that? Or are we going to do what the hell we want to do and perhaps fail spectacularly and, end up 5 years later down the road trying to get that same job we could have gotten 5 years ago, and I don't know. Me and Mike both kind of just went for it, and me more than Mike, it's kind of totally shaped who I am today, for better and worse. Like if S3 ever fails, I'm screwed. Like, where am I going? I'm gonna give it like 2 weeks for somebody to just in the industry to hire me and pay me loads of money to do this, or else I'm done. I gotta go to Key West and be homeless. That's all I got. I could literally, Woolie's gonna be like that guy where like you always wonder like who's the person who sells used boats at a boat lot. That's going to be Woolie. I have a great donkey. It's a 16-foot. I got a cutting cabin 21 over here, inboard, outboard.
I'd probably be living in one of the boats.
Easily.
We can sell that. Let me get a couple things out of it. Real quick.
Yeah. Thank God we didn't have a dog. We're living on the boat. No, it is. It's funny. Like, S3 has shaped each and every one of us to who we are today. But not so much Mike Sanders. Mike still has a normal life. But
Mike was the first guy that, like, when I got the magazine, Mike called and Mike was like, I heard you bought a magazine, because we'd known each other. We weren't like besties by any means, but like we knew each other because of cars. And he was like, I heard you bought a magazine, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, what? Is there anything I can do? Like, can I be an intern? And I was like, man, we need somebody to sell ads. Like, like in the next 20 days, or we're done for, and when I first got the magazine, I had a couple of my college buddies trying to do it, and like they weren't doing it. I had a friend that I used to install with doing it, and he wasn't doing it. Like, it's hard to just jump in there and start selling. And Mike, who was only 20 at the time, I guess it's his deep voice, but people listen to him.
Yeah.
Unlike me, which I've learned from these podcasts that I sound like a dorky Tom from Blink, and I got to work on that. I got to start.
Damn you, Tom.
Seriously. But no, hey, when you were talking about that night at the Varsity, though, you had something wrong.
It was another.
It was Jonah from AM7.
Jonah from AM7 introduced us,
I guess so. I had just met Jonah, like, he was like new in town, and so I had met him through Ben Howard. I think it was Ben Howard, and so we had only known each other for a little while, but he didn't know anybody going to this varsity meet. So like we met up with him. I met up with him, and then you were like, "Oh, it's Jonah from AMC." He had the purple Civic or whatever color that thing was, and so that's where that was.
So let's date this person now. Jonah now is funny how he plays a role is because like
he was Jonah a legend, from right?
California.
Like, I wasn't a Honda. I was into Hondas, but I wasn't like a Honda guy like you guys were. But this dude's
he's like
Honda
a
legend.
Godfather legend. Yeah, Jonah started a crew in California with like Tank and a few other guys but it was called AM7. Tank, yeah. AM7 and AM7 was also like a graffiti crew as well in California, but nonetheless, they were like the first dudes tucking and shaving engine bays. If you want to claim you're the first person that ever tucked and shaved a Honda engine bay, you're wrong. It was Jonah.
Tell it to Jonah.
I'm gonna prove you every day. He did something crazy. He got this like EK. I think it was like the EK Civic off the lot in like 2000. And then 2 weeks later, started shaving the bay or something like that.
He was a certified badass. Like when I met him, badass. I was with Ben Howard, I think, and he was already at some restaurant where we were going to meet him. And it's like you said, Godfather. Like we walked in there, and he's just at a table. Like I don't know if you can see me, but like, you know, like he was just chilling. Like his arms were out, and he was just sitting there like he freaking owned the place. Yeah, man. He was
it's
awesome.
Basically you're picturing that like half moon shaped table, and he's just sitting in the middle of it by himself. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
it's a giant table.
It's like a little dog.
Like family fits, and he's just sitting in the middle of it. Yeah. No, he was this dude, but I mean, he was like kind of a powerhouse in the Honda community, and to the point where like I saw the sticker on the back of an AM7 crew, and I'm like, what is this car doing in Georgia? You know, like it was on SI wheels. It was nothing to look at. But I knew the engine bay. I'd followed its build, and I was a real nerd at the time. Interior. And it had like a professionally wrapped leopard interior. Like, and again, this was 2008 or something. So like Ricer was still a thing. It was a thing, but like leopard interior is pretty Rice. But when you professionally have it like tastefully leopard wrap in a purple Civic, it's kind of tight.
Yeah, when you're like, Jonah, you pull it off because it was like the guy in the car. It's just like, okay, it works, man. It works. I get it.
Yeah, this is cool. And so like it was this style thing, but like as I said, like when I met Wooly, I was still trying to find my way. I really liked the Honda community. I think when I met you, I had like a Mazda Speed Protege.
No, it was after that. You had a Integra.
The Integra.
Integra.
I had a car in S3 magazine before I knew you. The Mazda Speed Protege. We went to the bowling alley and they shot all of us. It was called GACC, Gay Ass Car Club.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't the Fag Mob, or was that Fag Mob? Fag Mob was the
Fag Mob.
Florida, Alabama, Georgia Mazda Owners Brigade.
Fag Mob.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Fag Mob, and then there was GACC, which was like Georgia, whatever, something. But yeah, Gay Ass Car Club. And my car was an S3, that's right. But yeah, I had this Integra. But I was really mostly friends with like drift guys, you know, and but I took Wooly to his first Import Alliance.
Yeah, bullshit. You were friends with like all of the Honda guys, man. Like Jay,
don't lie.
Dirty Octopus.
You can't claim Jay twice. You can't just say Jay twice.
No, I didn't think you heard me. There were a couple of them.
There was a couple like Jay. That's like saying I've got a black friend. You know, Rick's sister.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Speaking of black friend, who was the guy, and this is sad, but I'm thinking about it just because it's the anniversary. Who was the dude with the red S2000 that rolled it and lost his arm?
Witty.
Yeah, Witty. I was thinking about that at Import Showdown, because that happened outside Import Showdown.
Yeah, right? Import Showdown.
Because we were just there last weekend. What the hell is he? What's he up to?
He is. So
for those of y'all don't know, he was basically doing what we all do. I mean, totally innocently. He was hooning around before hooning was a thing. Outside of, Import Showdown. And he had a turbocharged S2000. It was quick and tail happy, and he got into it and got into boost, and it went around. He ended up, going in a field and rolling it. And I don't even think he had his seatbelt on yet, did he? Because he was like, maybe that's what saved him, because he got thrown or something.
Right.
I don't remember.
I was a couple cars ahead, so I had already left.
I was ironically in Key West.
Yeah.
That's come up twice already. But no, I was with Shocker Joe in Key West, and then we started hearing about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost. So yeah, good buddy of mine used to be in this. I still am. I can claim it. I love the guys. Premium Garage Crew, and PGK for life. I got a Honda again, so I can claim PGK.
Got a fit.
Good friend of mine.
You've got a fit.
Unfortunately lost his arm.
He just keeps talking.
Shout out to Discount Tire. He worked for Discount Tire. I don't know the full story of it, but I remember Discount Tire tremendously helped him in like retaining his job throughout him having to go through rehabilitation, helped him out with medical bills. Discount Tire definitely helped him out. And the last I heard, he works at Discount Tire still with Stephen Burke, who had the STI that I think you guys featured a while ago.
White one?
From Bremen Garage Crew.
Was it the white one? He always wore the Oakleys everywhere?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, they both work together. So
dude, I miss
shout out
days,
to get Discount
man.
Tire. If you're not an advertiser, you should.
Discount Tire, you're good guys. Can you
that
pay
one's
us?
free. Thanks for helping out my friend when he rolled his car.
Yeah.
Discount Tire. When you're looking for new or used tires, Discount Tire. But
man.
no, and so we whenever I talk to Willie, we have these things where like we reminisce, and we get stuck in these reminiscing. And it's funny because we'll reminisce about things that happened, 15 days ago almost. It's just it's been so much of a high speed, great roller coaster, and it goes off to you as well, Mike. And there's stories that we can tell. Like there's we were talking about if I got to the show, we would do this like Joe Dirt scenario where 4 days long we're talking to the story, and I feel like we do that for just the California trip that we went on.
Yeah.
And we stumbled across the gay mecca.
Well, dude, I keep trying to figure out how to work this.
Your jam, you love that.
Oh, that California trip. I thought you meant the one with Matt Jones.
Can we introduce
that one too?
Can we introduce this California trip a little bit and say what happened?
No, wait, hang on. First, because I keep trying to work it in, and Greg keeps going somewhere else. Okay, back to when we first met, right? That night, we figured out that we were both going to Import Alliance Summer. This was 2008. Yes, right. 2008. And so we were going to meet up or something, right? But, okay, so the backstory is I was there with my buddy Ryan Key, who you might know from Yellow Card, right? We had grown up together. I grew up in Jacksonville. So, we were buddies from whatever, first or second grade, and then we've always kept in touch. Well, anyway, he moved to Athens, Georgia, and so he was like, I ain't got nothing to do. Let's go to this Import Alliance thing. So we rode out to Import Alliance. We had a hotel room. You show up, and where'd you go?
Gone.
Did he hang up?
I don't know. I know his phone battery was really low. Anyway, keep telling your story.
All right, we'll see if he rings back in. So, man, I don't want to tell this story without him. I gotta have his yeah. I gotta have his perspective on it. Let me see if I can add him back in. All right. Let's do this. Crap. We might have to make this a 2-segment thing if I can't. Oh, wait. Hang on. It made a noise. Was that you?
I don't think so.
Crap.
Right. See him.
You see him?
Technology has failed.
Do you see him? He came in like he's on Apollo and just goes, technology has failed. And now he's... Wait, are you there?
I'm here.
Why can't I see you? I can't see you.
Because it's... hold on, there's so many buttons. There's 4 of them.
Okay.
There's one that says hang up, one that looks like a video camera.
Yeah,
that one again.
That's the one. Okay, so... Where did we lose you? I was talking about me and Ryan Key. We're going down to IA. We had the hotel. You came over to the hotel. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I remember it, though.
Okay, yeah, but you got to hear it. You got to hear it. I want to hear your side, and then I want to hear my side because it's kind of funny. Okay, So you were like, yeah, like me and my boys here, like we don't really have a place yet. And me and Ryan were like, dude, they gave us this corner room for some reason. It was huge, remember? And we were like,
Yeah.
Stay with us. And you're like, what do I owe you? And me and Ryan were like, dude, don't worry about it. I tell you what, just go get us the beer for the night. Didn't think anything of it. Was like, go get us the beer for the night. And, you know, hindsight 2020, you were like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then you go to get the beer. And then we went to the lobby and had a beer. And like 3 hours later, we're like, where the hell is this dude Gregg? Like, I wonder, did he get lost or what? And then you come back with the beer. Come to find out later, you weren't 21. And I didn't know that.
It took me, and we're at Import Alliance where all my friends were like 17, 18 also.
See, so, once I turned 23, I figured everybody was 21. Like, that was the way
No, I went to a gas station, and just a stranger ended up buying that beer for you that night.
Well, and the cute thing, guys, is that, like, he didn't want to tell me and Ryan, this, like, lead rock singer, that he wasn't 21.
No.
So we would have been like, dude, no problem. We'll go right across the street and get the beer.
Oh,
but instead, you wouldn't have like
I'd only tasted beer
super
like 5
bad.
times.
Yeah, you wouldn't have like this.
I think I got them just so you know how amateur. I think I got you guys like Foster's because I didn't know what beer was. That's my first time buying beer. Rolling Rock, please.
I just remember thinking that was pretty damn funny.
Yeah. No, it's so yeah, we've had these like crazy adventures. So what you got a timeline of events you want me to cover over there, Wooly? You got because we've got some stories.
I've got a couple that are kind of coming back to me just as we're talking about this. The California trip was pretty funny because if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we kind of put like the itinerary of that trip in your hands.
Do you guys see a pattern here? Like we start putting things in Gregg's hands and going, all right, Gregg's taking care of that.
It always works, but it's like the longest possible way to get home. Like so the show was in L.A., I think, wasn't it? So it was
at the IBOC. It was the IBOC, 2011.
Okay, it was IBOC. It's in Compton or right outside Compton, I think. Yeah.
All right, now tell everybody where do you booked our hotel?
Oh fuck! It was far enough to like start like 2 car fights.
Palm Springs. For any of you Cali boys out there, you know how far away that is.
So I booked from Palm
and
Springs.
For you Cali guys out there, you know who's in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
So there was this beautiful bed and breakfast in Palm Springs. And so this is a little backstory. I'm not the total asshole here. Wooly usually takes care of our flights and stuff. But Wooly would always book everything like 24, 36 hours before we need to be to this place. Yeah. So, like, it just got to the point where, like, he never dropped the ball, though. I will say this. No, I never dropped the ball. Nonetheless.
Thanks,
it just sucked. So I'm like, let me take care of the itinerary this time. I'm like, cool, you got it. I book it months in advance. Everything's great, right? So, yeah, come to find out, we're nowhere near. I book us the smallest car for like 5 really big guys. I think I got us like a compact car with like luggage for everything. And
wait, you're getting ahead of yourself. So we land and we go hang out with Yo from Rogue Status.
That was a cool trip.
From Rogue Status, who is another certified badass. So he's in Venice Beach. So we like spend the day hanging in Venice Beach. Then we tell him we're going to Palm Springs, and he kind of looks at us a little cross-eyed, like, what? You're doing what? And we're like, yeah, man, Palm Springs. Like, Gregg got this awesome place. And he's like, all right, yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't, okay. And
we're just Georgia boys. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Didn't we go buy a car on his lunch break?
No, he went to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went to go get the Scion. The TC or something. It was like a
that
dollar
Kenguchi
car.
Later drove.
I don't know, but he took.
Yeah, they turned it into Kenguchi's drift car. We went and bought that on a lunch break.
He took the rear-wheel drive 2JZ Scion XB to go get it. Who Rut later bought that, Rutledge Wood. But remember when he left it? He just started doing like 4 or 5 big ass donuts in the middle of this damn Boulevard Road. Like it was just no, like that was
just
like his like
closed down an intersection.
That was like how he said thank you to the dealership. He was just like, thanks guys.
Yeah, I'll come pick up the car tomorrow. I can pick up the car tomorrow. Yeah, okay. And just did like 5 donuts left.
Yeah.
But yeah, throughout the time we told probably 5 or 6 people that we were going to stay there and got funny looks.
And got looks.
In Palm Springs. But we didn't know.
And they wanted to be politically correct. So they were like, it's just, it's kind of far. It's a little far, yeah.
It's a little far. It's a little out of your way.
Yeah, we're like, no problem. We want to.
And so we also book it jointly with Natalie, if you remember, and Nick Weir.
Yeah.
From Scenic Crew. So, again, another really, deeply rooted person in the industry. They don't know either. They didn't say anything either. They're staying at the same exact hotel as us. And they're even like, this is kind of far from Los Angeles. So anyways, we get there. And, I mean, I don't know how far I'm fast forwarding, but nonetheless, we finally get there. Like, guys, I'm telling you, it was like 2.5 hours. It was way the fuck out the way.
I'm looking at it right now. With no traffic, it is almost 2 hours. And there was a lot of traffic that day.
There's a lot. Yeah.
California.
It may be 15 miles. Yeah. It took us 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
We just wanted drinks. We just wanted to get drunk. And so I'm like, guys, let's change. Let's go get some drinks. All right, cool. Everybody's down. Everybody's game. We're hungry. Let's just go get these drinks. I put on my best attire. I polished my shoes.
You're really set.
Put on my socks, spray on my cologne. We meet in the lobby and we head on out. And I remember, we probably walked 1 block and took a turn right because I heard some music.
And Greg is doing his little, high energy kind of, dance strutting. Yeah, like what Mike's doing, And I remember there was this club. I forgot what it was called.
All about it.
But it was definitely like the music,
Called
I think it was Bear.
It was called Hunters.
It was called Hunters.
It was Hunters. And they were playing that music, and I remember you going, "You're not going to get me out of there tonight." Just yelling at everybody. Being
the funniest thing ever, and we were there with our good friend Jonathan Walker, and he told it to me the other day, and I almost lost it, is he yelled at me, "Love for sale."
No, yeah, it was like this, something out of a movie where everything started kind of twisting and it all started coming together, and it was just
at the same time.
There's 7 of us just now finding out.
Yeah,
that this town is the gay mecca of America.
Yeah,
we didn't know this.
Yeah.
But we're not making fun of this town.
No,
even the guy at the hotel tried to tell us.
Yeah,
but
he was like,
he wouldn't really
"What are you guys doing?
Why are you guys here?"
And we're like, "Car show, yeah."
He's like, "You're in the wrong. You're not."
Yeah, and he's just like, I think it was also it was Gay Pride weekend or something super ironic.
But we were oblivious. We were oblivious to this, and all of a sudden it was like.
Oblivious to Gay Pride weekend.
Rainbow flag. It was like this, and that one guy was like, "Love for sale," and we were just like, "What?" Greg?
Some gentleman came up to me and offered love for sale within that half block.
It was hilarious. I remember just looking around. It was like 2 dudes sitting there eating romantically. 2 dudes. And I was trying to put it together.
Fell into a wormhole.
And this was before we valeted at a gay bar. So
now you have 7, 8 people looking at each other going, "Oh my God." And it clicked all of us at the same time. And nothing more. We just went back to the hotel room. All the bars we wanted to go to were Gay Pride weekend. And it was just, it's not that we didn't belong. I mean, they were packed. I still would have went and danced. I mean, to be honest, a good dance floor is a good dance floor. I'd already got hit on 7 times in 1 block.
You can't argue with the music.
It's pretty good for self-confidence.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first time I handled our itinerary.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time. Actually.
The trip that I remember the most vividly though was when you bought that piece of shit CRX that Wooly now owns.
Hey.
And we drove to Texas.
That was a classic.
You're right. It's even worse now. And we took it and we drove it to Texas. Do you remember this? Immediately. I don't remember the name of the show that we went to.
Import Reactor, dude. Import Reactor. It was the car
Reactor.
show, and it was kind of at night, and it was combined with that giant anime convention.
Yeah. That was what made it awesome. It was like a Comic-Con anime convention thing, and it was all in the same hotel.
Yeah.
So you got a couple of car guys walking around, and then just like comic book characters and shit everywhere.
Yeah, like
and they
much
would not break character.
forever.
I like got my soul sucked out by a ninja, and crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, for those of you guys listening, it was, I mean, it had to be like a, I don't know, 13-plus story hotel or something like that. It was a big hotel, and it was packed full of people in costume. And then the car guys. Matter of fact, I remember, like, the car guys were getting wild. Like, we were partying. Like, the event was...
We were the tame ones.
Yeah, I remember a cop looked at us, and he was just, like, shaking his head. And he was like, at least we know what you guys are going to do. You guys are going to go do burnouts. We get it. Like, we can handle that. I don't know what the hell these guys are doing. Like, he was like, I don't know how to handle this.
It was an insane car show. That's actually met Jared Deanda, actually.
That's where you met him?
That was the event.
You're breaking up.
Jared Deanda.
Oh, really?
Jared.
J-Rod.
He was there?
Yeah. I don't know why he was there.
That's cool.
I think there was maybe an event going on the same weekend, maybe.
Huh.
Like an FD event or something.
That's where Richie.
Or different, but
Richie about fell off the ledge of the hotel.
The story is basically like Wooly and Sanders were going to this car show out in Texas, and I really, really, really wanted to go with these dudes, and but they didn't have any room. They had no room to go to this show with me
in the
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had just torn apart like my EK Civic because I'm an idiot, and was just like, yeah, I don't need a car right now. You know, I really want to go to this car show. So I found a friend that would trade me his CRX for like a couple racing seats and a couch. And he's like, I was like, does it run? He's like, I mean, I drove it to work this morning, and like, it wasn't really that good. And so I was like, cool, sold. And like, we just got in the car and drove. And son of a bitch, that car drove all the way to Texas. Halfway through, the window fell down. It fell off the regulator halfway through. So I had to drive through rain and everything with the window down. I didn't know what I was doing. I know it's like an easy fix. I just
kept driving.
And I mean, we hit like a wall of bugs in Texas. By the way,
I remember that.
Texas fucked up. Shout out to Texas. You guys are fucked up. You're the Australia of America. I'll say that. Like, you got some crazy bug storms and stuff, but now I got bugs all inside the car. Like, it was not a good time. No AC. Like, the car had like, I don't know. Anyways.
If I remember correctly, I think my sister rode with you on that trip.
Great. She was a trooper.
Yeah, she really dealt with
bug-filled, getting rained on, no air conditioning, total trooper. Meanwhile, this car's squeaking, rattling, shaking, falling apart, windows missing, all the way to Texas. And through the summer, Louisiana heat, it was insane. And Wooly ended up getting that car and turning it into that blue CRX he has now.
Yeah.
So that's the blue CRX. That was a car bought on a whim, and then we
traded on a whim.
We traded on a whim. Wooly and I used to a lot of really cool ideas for the magazine and Still Hood, which was the apparel line and product line of S3 magazine. Still Hood came out of this parking lot. Wooly and I used to valet park cars together. And we used to work late night, so 5 o'clock to like 1, 2 in the morning sometimes, just parking cars. And so you can imagine there's down car nerds. And we would just like spitball these like great ideas, or we'd find a feature car, try to think of like the titles to them. And when you work with somebody for that amount of time in just a fun environment, running around, high energy,
that's the
you
thing.
come up with some really funny ideas.
Yeah, we were valeting cars, but we were working on the magazine. Like, it was, that's where those issues, for anybody that's been subscribed long enough, that 2010, 11, 12, that kind of era, like, those were being made at valet lots.
Yeah.
Exactly. Seriously, like, so there's thousands of them out there now, but I think that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th shift knobs, that was you guys.
Yeah, that came from a Hobnob parking lot.
On
Yeah.
that parking lot. Yeah, we made a shift knob where the fifth gear said FIF
What else?
because of.
Oh, we did that. We did the haters gonna hate hat. Like, okay, so up on the top of the hat, haters gonna hate. Underneath it said, "But fuck 'em," but the "but" was 2 T's.
We just said butt fuck.
Basically, it says haters gonna hate, and if you flip up the brim, it says butt fuck 'em. So a lot of people just with flipped up brims just had hats that said butt fuck 'em, and it was the funniest thing in the entire world.
And whoever's disgusted by that right now, we only made the hat twice, and each time it sold out in the first day.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to hear it.
It's total.
Sold. Best idea yet.
It's total impulse
Yeah.
stuff. You're at an event, you see it, and you're like, I have to have this. And then you're like, I can't wear this in my community. Like, what the hell? But
No,
they were fun ideas, man, and they came from like a really fun place. You know, like we weren't trying to like make profit or make money. It was all about this is cool, and for that reason we have to do it. You know, it was just that's the way it was.
It was cool to be part of something where every other day you're convincing yourself it's going to tank. And so every other day in between, you're convincing yourself you're going to do everything you have in your entire power to make this the best thing possible.
Yeah.
And so it's this beautiful balance of like, you know, we each have our down days of like, yo, the magazine's got to go to print, but we don't have enough money. We have to sell this. Or, hey, man, like we just have to print. The bill's way more than it is. Or we don't have cars. Or we're running out of time. Or whatever it is. There was always stressors. But there was each one of us, each intricate person, you know, Yusuf, Walker, Sean Bradford, any of these contributors that have throughout there to help pick you back up. And the nice thing is, though, working with Wooly, who's the editor of the magazine, is, dude, like I can see why Google has bikes, you know, around their work area.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
if you do. It's like those little bikes. Like if you ever get into a brain fart, just hop on a bike, do a couple laps, come back.
You keep breaking
because
up.
you become like,
Can you hear me? You keep breaking up.
working. Oh yeah. I got great internet.
Okay.
Yeah, I tap off my
I can
neighbors.
see half of your face and you're breaking up, but whatever, man. You do you. Let's
Yeah. No, the
Keep
listeners,
talking.
they can hear me. The
Okay.
listeners can hear me.
Yeah, it must just be me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Mike, hang up. Anyways, you're messing it up, Mike. But so when you work with somebody long enough and you're smiling, having fun at that job, you know, running around Valley parking cars, you come up with some really unique ideas for a company where, like I said, you don't know if it's thriving, surviving, losing. It's hard to kind of track success in the magazine. We just were having fun with it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
We were just having fun. We were hanging out, running around, doing whatever, going to these cool-ass car shows. And we just thought we were so cool. And we were. We still are. We're just older and tired. And we got to go to bed soon. Like,
I don't know if I think I'm cool now, but I definitely think we were really cool then. Like the other day I was like consolidating back issues, trying to make some space and stuff, and I was looking through some of those like the Joe Schneider and Nick Weir's Caddy era and those issues, dude. Like I go back and look at those, and I'm proud. You know, the stuff before it, I'm like, oh Lord, like some of that early stuff. Where Mike's pointing, that whole area, that couple of years, man, was a lot of fun. It really was.
Man. It was, and there wasn't really any definitive thing that changed it, though. It's not like we went through like a new artist, or we went through like a new graphic designer, or we went through like anything, or we started featuring trucks or anything groundbreaking. It was just our day-to-day life, and our mentality was a little bit different. You know, we have a lot of the same crew still making the magazine now, the same contributors, or a lot that you guys have that we had back then.
Yeah.
I think it was just a younger mentality, and I mean, this is, if it goes out to anybody out there, it's like, dude, we're preaching it. Like, if you're having fun doing what you're doing, it's going to be the best product.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it really is true. We weren't thinking about, like, the business side of it. We were just... And to set the stage, To set the stage, I'm a Delta brat. My mom is, retired from Delta, but she's worked for Delta my whole life. So, at that point, I was valeting just so I had money to go to Hawaii like 3 times a year. And it was like all of that combined, I was really getting into this kind of F-it mentality, you know, and we were just doing whatever we thought cool. It was, you know, on the clothing side, it was all the neons and the bright-ass colors and the really kind of abrasive logos and vulgarity and stuff like, but it was cool, man. It really was.
I have to apologize for.
You know, it's cool when like your graphic designer goes and is like, all right, here's 7 t-shirts, but we only have enough money to print 2 of them. Or here's 4 hats. We can only print 1, and you go, we're the fuck. Like that's like the definitive we're having fun. Like that's where like you have 4 beautiful hats, but one of them says butt fuck them, and like it's the last one. It's like a separate attachment in the email. Like he doesn't even want you to see it.
Yeah, like should we put these online or
he's
should
not
this be
hyped on it? And you know, and it's like
that's right. He was like hiding that one so he wouldn't see it.
It's just it was
that one. I see it down there. That one.
that one.
I know what you're doing.
But I remember, but at the same time, it didn't come easy. So, like I said, like we were having fun and all this stuff, but it didn't come easy. Those years in the magazines did not come easy in the sense of there was a lot of like arguments. Now, nothing where I was like, fuck you, Mike, or fuck you, Wooly, but it was a lot of, since we were running such an opinionated magazine, we were opinionated with one another as well, to where choosing a cover car is not as easy as you guys would think when you're trying to shape an image of a magazine.
Yeah.
When you have like 15 great looking cars, it ain't easy, guys.
I remember the Viva Hood one, and actually the one, if you guys can see it right above Mike's head, that hood rat, you can't see the whole thing. It's above the Caddy one. But yeah, that car was a shit basket. But dang, man, it had style, and it was before, you know, it was before being a turd was like in, you know what I mean? And like, so we were at Southern Worthersea or whatnot, and you know, everybody had their flawless little cars, and then there was this dude, you know, and that was one where we were like, screw it, man, let's do it. And not only let's shoot it, let's put it on cover. You know, like, let's piss some people off. You know, this will be fun. Yeah. And the other one is the Viva Hood one, the one that's right next to Mike's arm right now. I remember being in Hawaii, and I was talking to Joe Schneider, who had the yellow Civic that was on one of our earlier covers. And I was like, man, there's this Corolla, it's busted, we're going to get hate, but damn, man, it's got something, you know? It's just, like, cool. And he was like, dude, like, you guys wouldn't be S3 if you didn't do it. Just the fact that you're sitting here trying to rationalize it, to me, means that you know the answer already. You know, he's like, you got to do it. He's like, S3 is the magazine for the fucking underdog, man. He's like, these are the guys that are out there with limited budgets, working in their garage, and their garage doesn't even light up because light bulbs are out. And, you know, he's like, that's S3, man. It's the real deal. He's like, let Honda Tuning do the pretty stuff, you know, or let Super Street do that, you know, pedestal stuff. You know, he's like, you got to do it. And so that's where we were. In that time, we
were, and it was each intricate character, and so where you can kind of see the bigger realm if you've been listening to this podcast since the beginning. Which, if you have, damn, you're a great trooper. But first off, is like I said, like how Wooly and Mike and these guys really shaped where I am to the industry, and we're slowly telling you these stories. And this was really kind of young in my career in this industry, and you could see now why I can't fail. I was built with this bulletproof backing of fate in a company to where, like, yo, let's groundbreak, let's push the limits, let's argue, let's collaborate, let's work together, let's build memories, let's make friends, and let's have a smile along the whole time, and let's build something that we believe in. To where when I got that mentality from working with you guys, I can carry that into any job, anything I do, any way of life. And I swear to you now, like, nobody's going to do Gregg Bucell better than Gregg Bucell does him. and that's it. That's it. And it's a sense of cockiness.
Yeah, it means a lot to me to know that we kind of helped to hardwire that in, man. Because it really does. Again, it goes back to that whole, you were at a point. You know what I mean? You were, whether you do it or not, you were kind of at a turning point of your life. Childhood's over. What are you going to be? You know, like, it's kind of those years that are so crucial, you know, in your mid-20s or early 20s, where it's like, who are you going to listen to, man? You going to listen to the damn man, to your parents, or are you going to listen to your heart? You know, you're going to do what you want to do.
The voice. Yeah. So like when people, I guess like, you know, when people ask me like, you know, you work for a performance shop, you know, so currently now I work for a company called Koruworks, and we build race cars, Formula drift cars, and we do all kinds of just really, really exciting things. And I also work for a company called Gridlife, and we're a music and motorsports festival, entertainment brand. And it's groundbreaking, again, revolutionary, you know, segment into this car industry that, again, a ton of creative minds have put together, but I'm lucky enough to be part of it. Nonetheless, like, I have these things now, and when friends ask me, you know, how did you get into this, or how can I do this, or man, I really want to do this, you know, I have these friends that hate their 9 to 5, and so they see me smiling, and every day I wake up happy to go to work, and they ask me like how it happened, and it's just like, man, you've got like one introduction with every person you meet. You never know when that introduction is going to be your next like career move or life change or person you're going to marry. You get one introduction, and this industry that we work in is so small that those times where I may have only thought I'm going to have one introduction, never meet that person again, become lifetime like friends. So don't remember every person you can in the industry. Don't ever fuck anyone over. And if you love that industry, and whether it be cars or breeding dogs or tattoos or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. It's a smaller industry than you may realize, and all you have in that's your name.
Yeah.
And well, so yeah,
we were talking about that with
that name
on the Koenig podcast. I remember you saying the same thing, and it's just like, dude, this industry is smaller than you think. And people will quickly see through the bullshit. You know, like if you're not genuine. And, you know, that gets around faster than you might realize. You know, people talk.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think that's, like, super awesome advice for somebody. I mean, you're, like, what, 7 or 8 years younger than me. Somebody that's 7 or 8 years younger than you. You know, like, you guys need to hear that if you're listening.
No,
that's for real. Like, I can speak for Greg on that. Like, Greg is freaking 100% genuine on everything he does and says. If he's doing it, it's because he believes in it. And if he, you know, it's like, you wouldn't do it if you didn't. I mean, there's just, I've never seen anything. I've never seen some situation where you were selling yourself out, or you were, you know, doing it for whatever, the wrong reasons, or a profit, or what. Everything I've ever seen you do has been genuine. And it's like networking at its best. But for you, it's just an accident.
Living. It's living.
Living.
So yeah, like Mike, you know, so I love how these like stories come to wrap up, like when we start to get to a story. So like, this is like kind of a two-parter, but like where we look at like where Mike introduced me to this Pirelli company, right? And he was like, "Yo, grab that business card." I never got the business card. I stood for like 30 minutes. I even tried to leave, and Mike said, "Go back in there." Mike said, "Go back in there. We're not leaving." And I'm standing around a field of like what looks like sharks.
Suits.
And I'm young. I'm wearing like this dumb fluorescent shirt on that's like still hood across it, you know, and like, yeah, man, I have a butt fuckum shirt on, and I'm just trying to get a marketing manager card. And never
I need to talk to the important guy.
I need to talk to the important guy, you know. But it's funny because now I'm in an industry where, you know, with say Gridlife now, where I have, not to shoot my own horn, but a similar brand, you know, I have those marketing managers reaching out to me now.
Yeah.
And it all started from a point where I didn't know what I was doing. I had sweaty palms, didn't know what I was getting in, but, you know, it's not thrown to the sharks because, I mean, he was there to help me throughout the whole thing, and he taught me the reins. I owe all that, the kind of marketing-esque partnership side of stuff to Mike, really teaching me that and how that all works, and really how the industry works. Really, Mike gave me a crash course on that. And and then it stems into, again, the second part of it, how small this world is. So Wooly and I have this one common friend. His name's Keenan. He's from Memphis, Tennessee. And we met him at Import Alliance, the first one that me and Wooly went to, where I bought the beer for him. and we all hit it off great. Now, here we fast forward, 10 years or whatever, and his current roommate, is asleep on my couch on the other room. And he's part of our pit crew. And it's completely irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
But his roommate, is one of the best tuners in the U.S., and he is working on a Formula D car this year at Koruworks because he's also friends with my boss, Carrie Brown, who worked at this performance shop. Like, it's a small community, dude, to where we met this one dude, and he was a great guy. And 10 years later, I got his freaking roommate on my couch.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, your name's what you got. Your
Dude,
name's what you got,
me
guys.
and Mike know about that kind of stuff. Just trying to get advertisers and whatnot. We've had people that have, been friends of the magazine, but not able to advertise for whatever reason for years and years. And then, but we just stay cool with them. If they're cool people, I mean, we'd love to have them as an advertiser, but like, it doesn't matter. They were our friends. Yeah. And then boom, they get another job somewhere else. They get big budgets and they're like, hey, it's time. So you never know, man. That stuff, don't write people off, man. Cause
no, I have like it's funny because I was gonna like not throw anybody under the bus or anything, but I was like, man, I want to put a name out there because like I've seen this situation. No, I've seen these companies in these situations where extremely, I mean, yes, talented, but like
prideful.
fun marketing dudes or fun people in the industry where like it doesn't matter, every year they shoot me down, they're not going to buy my product, whether it be the magazine, a booth space at your event, a sponsorship on the side of your car, whatever you're looking for. They're not giving you what you want, right?
Yeah.
But they're cool fucking dudes. And so you just see them after PRI, after trade show, after car show, whatever it is, and they start becoming your buddy, and then boom, they get promoted. And guess what? Hey, I want some money. No, but seriously, no, it's happened a few times, and it's not like we're trying to be some manipulative people where we just try and give everybody a chance, and no, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with like, back in the day, I used to think it was really awesome to hang out with like the guys who had the coolest looking cars. So, like, I would go to a car event, if the dude pulls up with the biggest wheels or the biggest spoiler or whatever it is, most expensive car, I thought that was the cool thing to hang out with them.
Yeah.
I thought that was the cool thing. And come to find out, the cool people to hang out with are the people you just get along with.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they have a car or not.
Dude. Cars are...
Doesn't matter.
I don't even care about the damn car anymore,
Don't care about the car.
Now, it doesn't matter. People get confused about S3 with that all the time. Why'd you feature this? I don't understand why you would feature, like there's better ones out there, and I just racking my brain trying to figure... It's like, it ain't about the car, dude. Like, it's just not.
No, not anymore. It used to.
It's about the
culture. And if you have that
mentality,
right.
So
if you have that mentality, that's fine. I get it.
It ain't how you stand next to your car.
It ain't how you stand next to your car. No. And there's even in Formula D now, being around Formula Drift and stuff, there's a lot of really, really cool drivers. And everybody wants to be the drivers.
Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite driver?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased, but if we have to, I love, and we're lucky enough to have part
just
of
to keep it politically correct, who is one of your favorite drivers? And what are his qualities, his or her qualities that makes you kind of like, man, you're cooler than the average bear.
Man, it's funny. I have so many answers because I love all these guys so much.
Give us 5. I don't care. Just
one guy. Okay, so one guy comes to mind, and you may have heard of him, you may not have heard of him. Doesn't matter. He runs Formula D Pro 2. His name is Randall Waters, and he's this big cuddly bear. And he's just so cool. His whole family comes out to these events and support him and stuff like that. And he's always so nice. And his sister's his spotter, and she kills it. And, the dude gets in the car, though, and he's a freaking ripper. He killed it in FD last year. He killed it. He did fantastic. He kills it every time he drives. And I'd love to see it because he's like one of those like super humbling.
Yeah.
Every driver, I'll give you my top 5. The
Hold
five
on,
most
hold on.
humble.
So Randall Waters, you say?
Randall Waters.
Where's he from? Where's he from, and what does he drive?
Out of Dallas, Texas. He's got an LS powered S14, sponsored by IAS Performance. Okay. IAS Performance is his company that his sister is actually I believe sales and marketing manager for, and it's like a family venue thing as well. IAS, call him up, yeah. Missy Waters. Missy Waters. She has great hair. Anywho, and then there's another Dirk Stratton. He pulls up. This is why I love Dirk Stratton.
That's
first time I ever met Dirk Stratton.
American name right there.
They own a Chevy dealership. His family owns a Chevy. They own Stratton Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Dirk Stratton owns Stratton. Yeah, it's the most American thing.
Yeah, you're breaking up again.
It's fantastic.
Mike's phone is making you break up again.
I just had to shake my iPad. I had to blow in the cartridge.
Okay, so Stratton
family.
Stratton
family pulls up to, this is the coolest thing. So Stratton family pulls up to the event in a motorhome, but with like a smaller trailer. They don't have this gnarly trailer. They have this giant motorhome, and like it's a family event. They're all grilling out there. When they open up the door, they have like little tiki torches, and they roll out their like rug, and they have like a picnic table they set up, and they have like the George Foreman grill, and it's like if you ever walk past them, they yell your name and offer you a drink. And then if you sit down for a drink, you're eating too. You're gonna get a burger, you're gonna get a corn on cob, you're gonna get something, and it's why I like that is because I've moved past the realm of as a spectator, I guess you would say. So like, yes, I can say, as a spectator level, who's my favorite driver, and it's like whoever's the most stylish, whoever wrecks the most, whatever it is. And then when you move past that and you kind of meet all the drivers and you get to become friends with them, they're great dudes. You can still have your favorite looking driver, but then you start to have your favorite kind of like friends.
Yeah. And
my favorite friends are the one where he brings his family and they try and feed me. I don't know about you, but
I'm with it.
And then the humbleness. My top, like I was gonna say, I could just say my top 5 favorite drivers are the top 5 most humble, whoever they are.
Yeah.
However you want to categorize them, because I don't know what it is, but a lot of these teams, or say you build a professional. This goes out to everybody if they're listening. If you have a drift car and you have the opportunity, or a race car, whatever it is, or you have even the opportunity to be a business owner, don't use the term I. Yeah. Use the term we.
Right.
Nobody's really self-made. Everybody gets help.
Right.
Whether they believe it or not. If you got a quote from something, somebody helped you out.
Right.
So you don't use the term I as much. So when I see like drivers interviewing, they're like, yeah, I had a tough time. I had to change the engine last week. And then, I had a hard time dialing in the car. And then I had to tune no, we.
Yeah.
Because like, say me, I'm on a team as well. Like I said, this Koruworks team, I'm a spotter for the team and I help out with the programs and stuff. There's so many people who help out with our team that you may not even know when you're watching. You won't know. Watching your live stream or your TV show, that we put in our time too. We put in just as much energy and as much love, as much passion as the driver of the car. And so, yeah, I think when you say like, who's my top 5 favorite Formula D drivers, I look at their whole package. If that's in a weird scenario, a weird sense.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize it until like I started answering the question.
You're like, I just had an epiphany. No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, dude, that was a turnoff for me with drifting in general is the ego, man. And everybody's got to be more extreme than the other extreme guy. And everybody, it's almost, it's almost wrestling in a sense. I'm sure that analogy's been used before, but like, everybody's got to have a persona. Like, who are you going to be? Are you going to be like, the tattooed mohawk guy? Or are you going to be like the redneck guy? Or are you going to be, whatever it is. I'm not calling out Vaughn. He's awesome. But like, you know what I mean? Like that quickly happened. And I was around kind of drifting with Cody and everything. And in the early days, when there was still fighting for that top spot, the number one spot, before like all the dust had settled and things had sorted themselves out. And I saw a lot of sellout moves. I saw a lot of like people trying to be who they thought they needed to be, and maybe selling out friends in the process and stuff. And it kind of made me turn my back on the sport a little bit. And it sucks because I'm just now realizing that was dumb. Like, you shouldn't kind of turn your back because of some stereotype, that a couple people are doing. But no, like, dude, perfect answer. That's it.
Thanks.
That's his answer.
My favorite driver is like, it's funny because like we all right. So here, I'll give a prime example. I had this conversation earlier tonight. Did you Ferrari that came to Formula Drift?
You're breaking up.
You see a Ferrari?
Hold on.
Don't worry about it.
But you were like, I just had this epic conversation earlier.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It was so good. Did you get all that?
No, you were talking something about a Ferrari.
So there's a Ferrari in Formula Drift, and I was trying to figure out why I don't like a Ferrari in Formula Drift, and it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain why I don't like a Ferrari.
I get it. You've already explained it perfectly.
But I came up with a pretty good way to explain it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your daughter coming to get picked up, and it could be a totally nice guy, but he's picking up your daughter, and he owns a Ferrari. You're not going to like him. You're not going to like him. He can be the nicest guy in the world. But he comes to pick up your car, your daughter in a yellow Ferrari. Now, like, I don't have any kids, but I love drifting and Formula D just as much as anything else out there. Like, if I had a kid, debatably or whatever, but, like, I love drifting. And this dude comes in with a yellow Ferrari. Fuck you. I mean that jokingly.
No.
I mean that as a joke. The dude's actually genuine. He's super nice. He's got a solid program. I can't wait to see the car work, properly. And yeah, the dude's a ripper. I've heard he's one of the best drivers out there too. And nonetheless, he showed up to pick up my daughter in a yellow Ferrari. He's gonna have to prove himself.
All right.
So yeah. My least favorite driver, whatever the guy is with the Ferrari. There we go.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think of what else, man. We're at an hour and 7 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Should we leave it on the high note? Like, we got it right now on a high note. You're talking about, be humble. Don't say I.
Yeah.
It's only going to go downhill from here.
Really? Yeah. I don't have much else to go off of except for like it's going off of humbleness. I'm humbled right now that I got to do this podcast, and this podcast had no true subject or meaning to it other than
nobody watches it. Sorry.
Yeah, nobody watches it. Yeah, dope, awesome, good phone call. It was
it'll be famous after we're dead and gone.
It was so yeah, it's that this podcast was based off of me. And I'm not really accustomed to anything like that. I'm not accustomed to somebody wanted to talk to me about me, or somebody wanted to have a podcast with me on it and just say, listen, man, we want to just talk about our scenarios, things we've done together, and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter, if 4 people listen to it or 5,000 people listen to it. It's humbling to me to know that you guys are taking your time out of your day to listen to me talk about whatever story, about whatever scenario. To me, I'm just me. I've just been having fun in this, again, small industry where I love so deeply. And I've met some really great people and some really rad dudes, 2 of which are allowed me on their podcast that I've built this awesome relationship with. And this is humbling. This is the true meaning of like finding peace in what you do. And so, like, if I could go on any note, if you're not happy with what you're doing, What are you doing?
I love it.
What are you doing? Like, change it.
That's like Kunu advice from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Kunu.
Like,
No, you're not doing anything.
We should end it on that. Like, wait, you gotta do more than that.
You gotta do that. Now you're just not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's
pop up.
Yeah. Guess what? It may not be ideal. It may not be ideal. If you want to be a race car driver, you might have to settle for tire changer. And I don't know. Like, your parents say, you could be an astronaut if you want to. Well, sometimes you just can't.
Sometimes you're
I don't know about you, but I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I was born stupid. Like, I'm done. I can't do. And so I can't do right. No, I can only take left turns when I'm running. I can't take right turns. I just trip and fall. But it's just, you may not be able to get your ideal job. But I can promise you're going to find a job that you're happy at. And if you're not happy, then save us all time. Because the last thing I want to do is be a business owner and have an employee that's not happy working for me.
Yeah.
Save us all the time.
Unhappy people that you're working with, maybe outside of your business, just in the industry, bringing down the vibe of the industry. Because there's a lot of those people. There's a lot of those people me and Mike run into that, like, they could be working at SEMA, or they could be, I don't know, selling phone books, and it's all the same to them, and it's like, sometimes you meet those people and you're like, why are we, why are you here?
Why are we here?
Yeah. There's not enough jobs in this industry. Save it for the people that really
there's not enough jobs. But listen, if you're working at Wendy's, and try and make fun of it, man. Like, it might not be the coolest scenario. It might not be.
Yeah.
But you're the one who chose it. It's your mentality. So, it's how you want to. If you go into work saying, fuck, I hate this job, I don't want to do this job, you're not going to do it right. If you go in there and you say, I'm going to crush this job, guess what? You might move up to manager of that store. And then guess what? You might become a regional manager. And then what do you have now on your resume? You have regional manager on your resume. And you can carry that to whatever, O'Reilly's. And become a regional parts manager. Right. And then take that. Now you have an automotive trait from regional parts manager. And you can add that to your resume and transfer over to performance brand. It's going to take work. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
But if you went there and flipped that burger with the mentality of, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm going to be the best damn burger flipper out there. It's going to go a long way.
Yeah. I mean, I think people don't realize a lot. They're in the middle of their story. They're not at the end of it. You always think like today is kind of the end, and it's just some part in the middle.
No.
All right. Well, I had little questions here, but we honestly got to a lot of them just kind of by accident. The ones that we didn't seem kind of stupid now anyway. So...
Damn, I was really good at the stupid questions too.
Nah, it was just dumb stuff like, what was your first car? Just little quick fire questions. Okay, yeah.
No.
Actually, the favorite pro driver was in there. See, we hit all these. What would be a dream drift car? Just out of curiosity.
Ooh, favorite driver. Let me just go back. I'm gonna answer it. Ross Petty.
Oh, I forgot about Ross Petty.
Ross Petty. You will go down in the history book as my favorite driver.
All right, fair enough. What's he doing? Is he back in Hawaii?
I heard he's living in Vegas. Oh. I also heard he was trying to build a Land Cruiser with a 2J so he could learn how to drive it on two wheels, like they do in Bahrain or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. I've heard like 10 stories, and I think like none of them are right, but they're all entertaining.
Cool.
So favorite drift car, S15, hands down. One of my favorite cars. Nissan, you really messed up, man. You messed up. You done goofed.
All right.
What motor would you go with?
Yeah, the S chassis line. I think you had something with it. What R.I.P. It's Ford's turn now. Let Ford get rid of all the good cars.
Nissan, you had your chance to screw up. Let's all watch Ford.
No, I do. I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank S3 Magazine. Each and every one of you guys.
S3 Magazine thanks you, my friend.
Thank you. All the way down to the bottom of the barrel. Yusuf, I want to thank you, Yusuf.
I knew that's where you're going.
I love you, Yusuf. Oh, he's my favorite.
All right. Well,
all right.
You guys get some sleep.
All right, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
See
Thank you for letting me on. Much love, and hopefully we'll be.
Hey,
we'll be
and
doing
if
this
y'all are one of the 3 people listening and you're in Atlanta, come to Formula D this weekend and say what's up. We'll all be there.
One of the 3, and if you mention this podcast,
you'll get
something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Just
mention. If you mention the podcast, I'm gonna be hyped. I'll give you something.
If you mention podcast, I'm gonna buy myself a T-shirt because I'm gonna be excited.
Mention podcast. Just mention the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right.
You have a great night.
Good night.
Thank you for everybody listening.
All right. See you guys.